and sensing how the body meets the floor. And give yourself a few minutes to actually sense and feel how the body lays on the ground. And there are many, many ways to kind of walk through it in your mind's eye. So obviously the first thing that comes to mind is discomfort. What's poking, what's not. And then maybe you can go into symmetry and asymmetry. Does the right leg feel as far away from the midline as the left leg? Then if you look at your pelvis area, do you feel like there's a tilt to one side than the Is your sacrum bone, the tailbone, is it flat on the ground, or does it have a tilt? Then up the back, the shoulder blades, is one of them clearly more in contact with the floor than the other? Is one shoulder higher from the ground than the other? Another way to look is like, how relaxed is my right leg versus my left leg? And how to measure that relaxation? How far is my little toe from the floor on the right versus the left? What are my fingers doing in my hands? Are they tight and straight? Are they curly? Are the hands turning so the thumb is touching the floor? Or am I palm up? And just for an experiment, if your palms are up, roll the palms so the thumb is touching the floor, it's closer to the line, to the waistline. And then turn so the palms up. So turn the hands and the arms, palms up and palms down, very, very easily, and just start noticing if it travels up to the shoulder and makes a difference in the shoulder blade. And not feeling anything is absolutely okay. It takes time to become discerning and sensitive to little changes. But the whole idea of the class is to become more and more aware and to find a way to use more of ourselves so we can function better. And go ahead and leave the arms with the palms facing upwards. And very gently start pushing the right shoulder blades into the ground and let it go. And press it down into the ground and let it go. It's like you're waking it up. You're pressing into the floor gently, kind of you're imprinting your shoulder blades into the sand type thing, and you let it go. Or if you were printing the shoulder blades into a paper, how much ink do you need before you get the shape of your shoulder? And are you doing it when you're inhaling or when you're exhaling? Try both and see which one works better for you, which one feels more organic. And let that go. and try to do it with your left shoulder and compare the difference in the way that you are imprinting the left shoulder into the mat, into a sand, into a printing paper, whichever picture you have in your mind. How do you do this side? Are you using less muscles, more muscles? And again, it's not about succeeding with anything, it's about learning more about yourself and how you do. Because when we do know how we do, then we have a choice to do it this way or another way. Just gaining another perspective and another perspective and another possibility, and becoming curious in all these possibilities. Very different from what we learned in school to have the right answer. And let the left side go. And just take a minute to allow the breath to flow in, and have your mind occupied with sensing what does it feel like. Now to lay down on the floor. And the next we're going to press the right and we're going to press the left. And you're going to start creating a seesaw, a rocking between the right and the left. And what I will invite you to do is to visualize the front of your chest and the rocking as if it was, I don't know, like maybe a half a ball that kind of curves from right to left. So there is a little bit of a softening of the sternum and the ribs as the right shoulder and then the left shoulder are pressing into the floor. They're not coming off the floor, they're pressing into the floor. And when they're pressing into the floor, the opposite side will come up. And when you feel that you have a sense of what that is, make it a little bit faster, but really soft and pleasurable. Have fun. So the shoulder is pressing and pressing, pressing and pressing into the floor. And it moves through the rib cage and through the softness of the sternum. The sternum is not a bone, it's a cartilage. What does the head do when you're pressing the shoulder blades? How is the head participating? And how much? Or does it at all? Try to keep your head stable for a minute and continue to move the shoulder blades and the upper ribs underneath it, separate from the head. And let it go. And now allow the head to move to the side that the shoulder is pressing down. So your nose will move a little bit on the ceiling, maybe 1 hour kind of measure. If the nose is facing 12 o'clock at the top of the ceiling, it's going to move to 1 and to 11 as that shoulder is pressing down. And let that go. And now turn the nose to 11 when you press the right shoulder down. and let that go. So we have 3 possibilities, and choose which one, play between them, and kind of figure out which one your nervous system likes. And can you make the other 2 also as comfortable, where you can keep on breathing? So your breath is smooth and your rocking continues regardless of what the head is doing. You find a way to be able to do it comfortably. And let it go completely, and just lie down with the palms up and the shoulders are relaxed as much as you can, and notice how it feels. And when you take a breath, how does it flow in? Does it feel like you're filling up all the way up to your shoulder blades? Go ahead and bend your knees and put your feet on the sole of your feet on the floor, and bring your arms up towards the ceiling, and continue doing the same thing with the arms hanging vertically now towards the ceiling. The shoulder blades is rocking, the arm rocking, and the shoulder blade is pressing, imprinting into the mat, or into a sand, or into a paper, creating more and more shoulder blades design on that paper. And every time that you're pressing down, is it in the same place or is it slightly different place? And notice what your head is doing now. I think now it's going to be more the chin. Is it going towards the arm that's lifted a little higher? Or is it going towards the side that's going into the floor? Try to go with the chin towards the arm that's lifting higher. And see if you can find a rocking rhythm. You can start slow and small, and then maybe find a little bit a different rhythm that you can work with. And it's directly up towards the ceiling. So the spine is the connecting, the knees are not moving, the arms are not moving from vertical. You are rocking around the spine. And the eyes, or the chin is going towards the arm that's coming up higher. So you're having it's like taking a towel and trying to rig the water out. So the right hand going to the right and the left hand going to the left to create that squeezing of the water. That's what happens in the neck if you're going with the chin towards the arm that's going higher. Whenever you need to put down your arms and rest, go ahead and rest and then come back up. If your arms are vertical and they're in a good place, and you don't have to take them down, don't. And let's try to do it with the chin going towards the arm that's going down into the floor. So you're turning the head to the side that the shoulder blades is getting closer to the floor now. How is it organized now? Is it harder? Can you even feel the difference? And can you find a way to make it more agreeable to the nervous system? And rest the arms, rest the legs, slide yourself down and rest for a minute. What is your knowing of your shoulder blades now? The contact of them of the floor with the floor? How close to the floor you are? Is the pressure different than it was when we started? And go ahead and bend your knees again so the soles of the feet are on the ground in a comfortable place. The legs and the feet are hip width apart. And put your fingers on the side of your hips. So right on the bone of your hips. Like right in here. And start rocking from right to left without moving the knees as much as you can. Isolate the pelvis underneath the knees, right and left. So again, just like we printed with the scapula into the ground with the shoulder blades, now we're going to print with the hip into the floor and into the floor and into the floor and into the floor. And there are many, many ways of doing it. We're not going to do the Hawaii side to side. We're going to go down to the ground and down to the ground. We're not going to go up to the shoulder either. We're going to do it tiny little down to the ground and down to the ground, just like we did with the shoulder blade. Down to the ground. Take time to find it because we're going to work with it now for a little bit. So, down to the ground, down to the ground. Down to the ground, down to the ground, down to the ground, down to the ground. If the image of a clock works for you, going to the right side will be hour number 3, and going to the left side will be hour number 9. And you are crossing the sacrum, the flat bone, between your two cheeks. And you're imprinting your right buttocks and your left buttocks. You're going down towards the sand. How much of the right side is imprinting? How much of the left side is imprinting? Is there less movement in one of them? Does it feel more restricted in the hip joint if you don't move the knees? How much rolling do you have on one side and the other side? So just like we had the image of the rocking from shoulder blade to shoulder blade, that was like maybe a fruit dish that you can put that kind of concave and you rock from side to side. The same thing here. You have the pelvis girdle that you can put fruit inside and you can rock it. The knees are staying forward and you're rocking it from side to side, up and down. So the legs are staying stable And you're rocking from side to side without moving up and down, crossing from one side. And take the time to really try and find that straight line from number 3 to number 9. And how deep do you get, when you're going across, how deep do you get into the sand with your sacrum? How deep is the dish? And when you are moving from right to left, how high up the spine do you feel the rotation? So go ahead and go to the side that you feel that's moving nicely and smoothly, and stay on that side. And lift both arms up towards the ceiling. If you, let's say that you roll to the left side, is your right shoulder off the ground? Go ahead and roll the shoulder blade into the ground and lift it up off the ground vertically and allow yourself to roll even more. Go ahead and gently bring the shoulder blades into the ground. And you are tilted with the hip to either number 3 or to number 9. So in my example, your row number 9 is on the floor, and the shoulder blades of my right arm will come off and into the floor, softening my spine. And go up and down. So wait. Let's try it again. Go ahead and stay flat. Stay flat. Take your arms down. Stay flat. Rock to one side, to the side that feels comfortable for you. So now one hip is off the floor and one hip is on the floor. Now bring the arms up. And the shoulder is off the floor. Now lift it higher, even more, and rotate the spine. That's one, yeah. So keep on going vertically and rock, up and up and up and up as much as it feels comfortable, and come
So both
down.
sides, both upper and lower are raising?
So if I'm rolling to my left, my right arm is up higher, and I'm lifting it even higher, and I'm lowering down.
Okay.
So my upper body is now creating even more rotation to the spine. And then bring it down. Not the hip. The hip stays up. And the arm comes up, and down, and the hip stays up when the shoulder comes down. That's the whole idea.
Okay.
The hip stays rotated to the side that you chose. So you're lifting the arm and the spine, don't move the knees, and now don't move the hip, just move the shoulder blade down. And then bring the shoulder blade even higher and higher and higher and higher, softening the spine and bringing the shoulder down. And then lower it all down and rest. Lower your legs. And just cease from doing. The only thing you're doing right now is observing. And let's bend the knees once again. Soles of the feet anchored to the floor. Spread your toes. Make sure that the knees are vertical and to the ceiling and comfortable. And tilt the pelvis into the other side. And stay with the pelvis in that tilt. Bring your arms vertically into the ceiling. So now you have a shoulder that's off the floor and you're going to lift it up even higher. And you're going to keep the hip where it is and you're going to slowly bring the shoulder blade down to the floor. And you're going to lift it up, 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 up. And you're going to lower it. Notice what your breath is doing and ask yourself how you can make it more smooth and more efficient and more pleasurable. The shoulder is coming on and off the floor. The hip is staying rotated. You're increasing the rotation in the spine. Anytime you need to rest, you rest. And go ahead and bring the arms down and the pelvis down and the legs down. Let's do one more time with the same idea. Bring the legs up, feet on the floor. Turn to the first side. Bring the arms up. Bring the same arm higher, but now turn the head away to the same direction that the pelvis is rotating, so you're looking down towards the floor. And when you bring the shoulder down, your head comes back to the center. The hip stays up. And lift the arm, turn the head. The pelvis is not moving. And roll the head back to the ceiling when the shoulder blade comes down to the floor. And when the shoulder comes off the floor, the head and the eyes are turning down towards the ground in the direction that the hip is turned. Now keep the shoulder up and only turn the head back to the ceiling. And now bring everything down, hip and shoulder at the same time. And lengthen the legs and rest. The size of the movement is absolutely not important. We're trying to kind of find different combinations to allow us a little bit more, a wider vocabulary in movement and options. So let's bend the legs again, feet to the floor, turn the pelvis to the other side, to the second side, keep it up there, bring your arms up, lift the shoulder off the floor even higher, and turn the head towards the direction that the hip is turned to. When the shoulder comes down, the head comes up towards the ceiling. The pelvis is not moving. The only thing that's moving is the arm and the head. And the next time that you turn yourself to the side, Stay up, only turn the head back to the ceiling. Stay there for a minute, kind of to register it in the head, and then slowly bring both hip and shoulder down. Bring the arms down, lengthen the legs, close your eyes, and we're going to do a full minute of just rest. Just allow the breath to flow in. And to flow out. Notice if your breath is longer, deeper, clearer. How is the body laying on the mat? Is there any more softness to it? And the next thing we're going to do, go ahead and bend your legs. And bring your legs up towards the ceiling, somewhat vertical. A bend in the knee is absolutely okay. Bring your arms vertically. And now as you're taking your legs a little bit to the left, take your arms a little bit to the right. Again, 1 hour worth of maybe half an hour. So you're moving off the center, arms to the right, legs to the left. You're rocking towards the left side of your hip and towards the right side of your shoulders. What is your head doing? Is it going with your arms or is it going with your legs? Do we have a choice in the matter? Try to go with the opposite choice that you had. How does it feel? Is it more effort? Is it just introducing something new, but you can get it as comfortable as the other? And again, whenever you need to lower your legs and the arms and rest, you choose when to do it. I have no idea how strong you are, how weak you are, how tired you are, how able you are. We all have different situations, and you take care of yours. And go back to what you did with the head to begin with, to compare. And bend the knees and the elbows and rest. Rest not just from the muscle effort, the exertion of using the front of the body, but also allow time to kind of digest what we've done. Because the spine, besides flexion and extension, can also rotate, and every vertebra can rotate. And it's about allowing and finding what we always had and we kind of stopped using. Go ahead and bend your knees again, and now lift only your right leg and your right arm. And take both arm and leg to the left, rocking towards the left side of your body. When does the alert, when it does the nervous system goes, uh-oh. So if the clock is 12 o'clock is up in the mids vertically, are you going to 11? Are you going to 10? Are you going to 9? Are you barely moving? When is your nervous system getting to say, uh-oh, I'm about to fall? And each time you go, can you find a way to converse with the nervous system by maybe moving a little slower, Maybe moving the leg in front of the arm, maybe the arm in front of the leg. What is it that you need to do? To have a range of motion that you feel comfortable in rolling towards the left. And again, it's not about succeeding, and it's not about touching the floor. It's about you and your nervous system becoming friendly. You already have some tools in your toolbox. Maybe turn your eyes in the opposite direction to have a little bit more balance. Maybe taking your head with the rolling. Maybe fixating the eyes on the ceiling. And somewhere in there we have to discern what is muscle effort and what is the nervous system says, uh-oh. And go ahead and rest the leg down and the arm down. Notice your breath. Let go the effort. And go ahead and bend your knees again. This time we're going to lift our left leg up and our left arm up. And we're going to go towards the right, towards number 1. And we'll come back. How safe do you feel on this side, rolling out of center? What does your nervous system do here? How do you negotiate with the nervous system to feel more secure? Are you using your eyes? Are you using your head? And this is really life story. What do we do when we lose balance? And how fast we can come back to equilibrium. And bring the leg down when you come to the center. And bring both knees up towards your chest and both elbows up above your chest. And start rolling towards your left. And again, find where your nervous system says stop. You're about to fall. And see if you can stay there at that place where it's the uh-oh. And then come back. Then roll to the other side. And notice when that red light stop happens. And see if you can stop there and not go back and not go forward, but get acquainted with that place. And then very gently roll back. And then again roll to the left, to the place where the nervous system says, oops, oops, and stop there. And see if you can calm yourself down there. And then come back. And roll to the hands are separately from the legs. They're above your chest and the knees are above your chest, but you're not holding. Because I want you to roll on your spine until you feel that you are about to fall and stop right there. It might be that you barely moved. See if you can breathe there for a minute, a short minute, and come back. Next time when we go to the left, you're going to lift the right elbow and the right leg up towards the ceiling as you keep on going to the left, and see if that gives you a better stability and a calmer nervous system. And then come back. Next one, we're going to roll to the right, and the left elbow and the left knee will stay up towards the ceiling as the right elbow and the right knee are rolling to the right until it feels like you shouldn't go any further because you're going to fall. And you stay there and you breathe and you come back and relax your arms, relax your legs. As the air flows into you, do you feel a movement in the ribs? Is there any expansion in any direction? Where are your arms now? How far are they from the body? Are your palms up or down? How do the shoulder blades meet the floor? How do your hip meet the floor? And roll yourself to the right by bending the knees and come up to a sitting position. And open your legs and allow the right knee to fall to the right side and allow the right arm to take you back, and see if you can turn and come back. And then let the right knee fall to the side, so you're shifting your weight to the left hip, and take the left arm back and see if you can rotate. And how the spine is coming with you. Are you rotating from your spine or just the arm? So the leg is falling, the hip is coming with it, the arm is taking you, and the spine is rotating and actually extending and coming up. So the leg is rotating, the hip is going, the arm is going back, and the spine is extending. And the leg is falling, the hip is falling, the arm is going back, and the spine is extending. And one last time. So the leg is falling, the hip is following, and the spine is building, 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 building. All right. Okay.
That's a nice movement.
Thank you.